the book Relentless, right? Like they talks about some of this stuff. It kind of shapes into the behaviors that you have as you get older and you're pursuing your goals, right? So do you feel that there's a connection to that?
It was always just kind of like, I totally, because there was just all these authority figures in my life were always just telling me like I couldn't do something, or, you know, that's not allowed, or you can't, or this or that. And so I've just always been the kind of person my entire life who's like, yeah, okay, you tell me I can't cross this line, I'm going to step way the fuck over that line. And, you know, sometimes that has been very harmful for me because sometimes the line is there for good reason. But I think when you become a habitual line stepper, right, like, you realize that a lot of times the line is bullshit and you don't have to pay attention to it, you know,
for the most
part.
And
you get to know for yourself, like, when is it going to be harmful for you to step over that line? Like, maybe I won't go get a drug addiction just to prove somebody wrong. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like, I'm not going to go get addicted to heroin.
I'm not going to rob this bank just to prove them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But there are a lot of these lines in society, like, can't do that, especially financially. You know, it's like, people don't think about risk. They don't have a proper equilibrium for risk reward, right? And so they think like you should just basically take zero risk ever, and that you'll be totally safe. And it's not true, right? Because there's always risk present in everything. And really, risk is this is a VC. Risk is about sizing, right? So it's about how much you actually putting in the position, and then what's the asymmetric upside on that position, right? So if you're putting in, Gary Tan was telling a story the other day about he put $300K into Coinbase, and he got a $2.4 billion return off of that, right? So, you know, to Gary Tan, was $300K going to make or break his life? Probably not. But 2.4 billion is definitely going to have an effect on his life, right? So it's
you know, he also said something that I thought was really interesting, because you're a hodler, right? And he said that private equity is great for one reason: you're stuck in the asset; it forces you to hodl it. And I thought that was a really interesting point, because if he had bought Bitcoin, he probably would have sold multiple times on the way up and never gotten to $2.4 billion.
Yeah, you really have to find the thing that motivates you in order to tie yourself to the masthead, so to speak. Like, because it's very difficult. Bitcoin is high, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin is highly liquid. I can sell it at any time, right? It dumped from 64K to 48K. I could have gotten panicky and been like, I want to hold on to my wealth, and dumped it all. And many people did. In the
that's
market,
why it's going down, right?
Just today. Yeah, especially if they are new entrants, right?
But people, this is another thing that people don't realize, right? People were buying at 17, at 20, at 25, at 30, 40, 50, 60, right? And then the people are buying at 20s and 30s. When they see it go to 60 and pull back to 50, they start selling. So you have selling pressure that comes down. But at some point, people like you and me and Jason and others will say, thank you very much for the discount. I'm buying some more. And then it just reverses course again.
A lot of people get it wrong too. They think that HODLing is a passive thing. You buy your Bitcoin and you hold it and you just don't do anything. But really, you have to wake up every day and make a decision. Are you going to continue HODLing? So it's sort of like at the end, and everything that's worth having in life is like this, right? Like, I'm going to be wealthy. So I am going to sit here and not sell my Bitcoin for the next 5,000 days. And at the end of 5,000, so every day for 5,000 days, I'm going to wake up and make a decision not to sell. At the end of 5,000 days, I will be much wealthier than I am today. Or I'm going to wake up every day for the next 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 days, and I'm going to not cheat on my wife. And so I'm going to have a good marriage at the end of, my life, right?
Unless you're Lamar. He thinks that everybody cheats.
Lamar is our friend on Clubhouse who thinks everybody's a cheater. But, or it's like, I'm going to put healthy food in my body and I'm going to exercise every day for the next 5,000 days. And at the end of it, I'm going to have a healthy body, right? Like, so anything that you want in life is this sort of this dance between chaos and order, which is like, you have to be disciplined in order to achieve the things that you want. And it is an active approach. It's sort of a meditative approach. It's an active meditation.